everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sin Bin. Good to have you here with us tonight. I'm joined by Bradley Wilkin, Graham Peacock, Gordon Peacock, and Eric van der Merwe. Gents, good to have you on the Sin Bin. Looking forward to having a chat for you. Hope you're all well.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay. Brad Wilkes has got to you first. Pretoria Boys High School. I think enough said there. Good to have you joining us. Just give us a quick brief background of your playing days at club level and school level, and a little bit of an introduction.
No, thanks, Brad. Yeah, I think Boys Eyes, that's where Eric didn't get in. I know he applied, but he didn't get into Pretoria Boys Eyes. But
there's no high grade subjects.
I started off club rugby at Pirates. I've always been a Dratch. I left in '95, went to Maurice, tried my luck down in Western Transvaal. Now the Leopards, played some lekker rugby up there. I was under 21s at Pirates, and I played first side, and I left to go to Maurice. And I came back in 2001 after Gordy and the boys had won the club champs. And then that's where I met the Three Oaks on this call, which maybe I probably should have gone to Wits or something like that. My life probably would have been a lot different and a lot better. But no, it was, I love Pirates, been there, coached there, met the most amazing people, and that's my trip.
Oh, you say you got to make better life decisions as you go, eh? Gordy Peacock, we'll come over to you, my man. Wilkes just mentioned it. You won club champs in 2001 with the Great Rats. But just give us a bit of an introduction to your rugby career.
Yeah, Brad, thanks for having me on the show. It's I finished matric in '90, and then I was in the army for a year. I was down in Ladysmith, so I played down there for a bit. Came out of the army, went and did my under 21s. I played at Wits Tech under Gerry Hammersace and that crew. Then I thought, no, I'll give myself a chance. I went down to Natal, had to go down there for like 2.5 years, and then headed back to Joburg, and just came to the Rats. Hooked up with a good bunch of mates that I'd played with at school and against. Over the years, and I just wanted the right balance between enjoying my rugby and playing for the love of the game, and having a good time doing it. And we had such a great bunch down at Pirates in those couple of years. It was a no-brainer. It was awesome times.
Yeah, great. Gordy, we'll come back and have a chat about that 2001 season, no doubt. Graham, over to you, man. Brothers in arms, the Peacock boys. Good to have you on the show tonight. Maybe just by way of introduction, a little bit of your rugby history.
Yeah, thanks, Brad. Thanks for having me on, and good to see the boys. I finished Northbrook High in 1993. Went across to Wits Tech, followed my butt. We did a year over there, and then I moved over to Pirates. Played one season at Pirates. Had a good year at Pirates that year, and then moved over to Roodepoort for 2 years on a bursary. Had some good times over there, and that's where I met Bones or Eric for the first time. We came across each other in an open club selection side, so that was good fun. And then spent 2 years at Roodepoort, and then moved back to Pirates and spent the rest of my rugby career at Pirates. And through various sides within the club, and just loved it. And then had a season coaching, and now I support from afar. So that's my rugby.
And probably one of our best supporters still living afar and with all the boys in the UK. Hey, I'm sure you catch up with some of those guys all the time. Eric, we'll come to you, man. Saving the Cares boys for last, I suppose, or the best for last, depending who's watching. Eric, good to have you on the show, man. Just give us a bit of a background by way of introduction.
Yeah, I eventually finished in '95, school that is. And then I drifted around a bit, and then played Poort. Ended up at Wits under 21s, and then '99 went over to Pirates, and while I was in Joburg, only club I played for.
Yeah, and a pretty successful season, or pretty successful stint there, Eric. I'm going to stay with you, Eric. You had the privilege of playing in a Currie Cup final. Can you remember what year that was?
That was '99, and my first year seniors.
'99, first year seniors. You played Currie Cup final.
Yeah.
And the result?
32-9, beat the Sharks down at Kings Park. Very fortunate, came off the bench, got a bit of time on the field, and a good memory to have.
Yeah, I think, well, at least you've got your memory still. That's good news. I was just testing.
Yeah, no, listen.
No, well, and then, Eric, you ended up in the land of Long White Cloud down in NZ. You were down on the South Island for a little bit, eh?
No, North Island. I played Hawke's Bay.
Okay.
North Island, East Coast.
Okay.
Out of Napier there, yeah.
And how long have you done there for?
Only 1 year. And then I came back. I think, talking about my memory, I think that was around 2002. And had a good stint there, enjoyed it, but missed South Africa and came back. Yeah,
that island's just not. That island's not big enough for you there, Bones. I'm pretty sure about
that. No, listen, and the weather didn't agree with me. The rules didn't agree with me. So but listen, I was fortunate once again to go do that on a contract and only play rugby over there. So that's fortunate. Saw the whole of New Zealand, North Island, South Island, and good memories there as well. It's great about the game. You get to see the world.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. And Gray, for those that know you, probably one of the tallest men outside your brother that I know. But if I'm not mistaken, you represented Lions at Sevens, eh? 40 months in the boys.
Yeah, when you look at the size of me now, you wouldn't believe that I played seven. I got selected for the Lions Sevens, did the Mosi Sevens in Zambia with Fadi Manza and a couple of the lads there. Dion Oosthuizen was coaching us. We got to, if I recall, I think we got to the semis and played guys like Kenya and Western Province, and the guys were up there. But it was a great experience. Loved it. Enjoyable. It was quite nice. Dick Muir was down at Pirates at the time, and put my name forward with another couple of the guys, and we managed to get through trials and have an enjoyable sevens little stint. It was at that point in time, as everyone I'm sure will say, with Dickie Muir and the boys, we were very fortunate to play with some exceptional individuals at the club. So lots of good players and lots of good times.
There were some proper boys there. And then you made a little trip in more recent times to Bermuda with the Legends, eh?
Yeah, that was very, very lucky. I got over to Bermuda twice. They were looking for a lock, and I had a British passport, and it was easy to get over there. And went over with Mark Watson and the guys. And we played for Legends. We got to the final in the first year. We lost to the All Blacks. We beat the Lions in the semis, and I think in the first game, I think we beat we beat America, and then so I had a nice tour, lots of good memories, and then I got invited back the year after, which was also very, very lucky, and but not such a successful tour, but played with so many big names and so many big names, but the experiences, I'm not sure some of the stories can be told. Lovely,
and the beers always taste better on an island, Graham, I'm sure. Gordy.
They do.
Gordy, just coming to you, man. I understand Wildebeest representation down while you're in KZN. Is that correct? Crusaders Rugby Club. Any other representation rugby from your side?
So I went I was at Wits Tech for under 21s. Then I played. That's how I actually ended up in Durban. Actually, I went on the South African Technicon side. We toured Europe. So we went to the UK. I mean, we had a proper side. I mean, we had a good few Springboks came out of there. I mean, with Percy and Wayne Fyvie was captain, Andre Snyman, Joe Gillingham. So we had a proper side. So then, after I came back, then Fyvie said to me, listen, why don't you come and have a crack down in Durbs? So I said, okay, well, there's not much holding me back. So I went down there for a couple of years. Yeah, I managed to crack a couple of games for the B side and that. But I mean, behind Atherton and Andrews in those days, it found it pretty tough. But I had a crack, and then thought, you've got to make that decision. I think for all young rugby players out there, I think there's a lesson where you can taste the dream to a point, but then life has got to start. You've got to actually knuckle down and know that you've got to make a living and plan your future. So and I think that is probably the toughest decision that any rugby player can really make. If you really think that you can push yourself and try and go pro. But I think there's just the numbers stack up against you, and then you've got to get on with it. And I think I was blessed that I came back to Joburg and hooked up with a club like Pirates, where I just thoroughly enjoyed my rugby. I was playing with good quality rugby players, as Graham has mentioned. So you didn't really lose anything in terms of the quality of rugby that you were playing, but you also, the pressure was off and you were actually just enjoying the rugby. And I think we trained hard, but we also partied hard quite a bit as well. And that was the best way to go out for your rugby, your older days,
Yeah, Gordy, I don't think much has changed. I think, taking rugby seriously on the park is one thing that Pirates has always done. But the social life and the interaction and the network side of things is just as important as anything else, as I'm sure Bradley Wilkin can attest to. Wilkes, I know you got your SA colours for ballet, but any other representation for rugby at all?
No, it was after I left Pirates, I went down, I tried my lucky Western Transvaal a bit. I think Eric did a stint there at Bonesy.
Yeah, the Leopards, yeah.
I think I enjoyed it a little bit too much when I was there, but I played Warriors. Yeah, we 4 years in a row, club champs, played semi-finals 3 years of the 4, so played some really good rugby. I got into the Leopards B side at that stage, but no, I think I was too athletic for the Millie Buddha out there. And also were 134 kilograms, but it was the best time of my life. Besides Pirates was the best. Really, I loved it at the time of my life.
You often speak very highly of that. And if I'm not mistaken, did you play with Goose there as well? Is that where you met Goose? Morris Goose?
Yeah, Brad. I mean, it was actually unbelievable. You look at the talent that in those days that was there. I mean, there's guys like Devil Passon. I think he still holds a Currie Cup record for the most points in the season. I mean, played with Goose. We played with some really, really proper Van der Lessing. Who played with Gordy and with Gray and with Papa Bear. And I mean, we played with proper rugby players out there. It was really, it's amazing the talent in this country. And keep on telling the kids at Pirates, club rugby is where you can make a name for yourself. Don't, just because you don't get a contract, like what he was saying, you don't get a contract straight out of school. It doesn't stop there. Go and play club rugby, get pulled up. I think, Eric, you got pulled up from club rugby, didn't you?
No, I
think Bonesy did.
No, I played Lions 21s in 98.
Yeah.
And that was my in. In those days, we're still playing proper Transvaal trials in those days as well. So that was my in there. And there was a lot of injuries.
You're not doing yourself justice there. Currie Cup final winner. I think it was more than just injuries.
No, it absolutely was. Yeah, gents, look, I think we all look back at our careers at Pirates and our time there, and with great memories. And certainly sitting with you four guys as friendships, maybe better life decisions, as Wilk said earlier. But it's a special bond that we get there at Pirates. But I just want to focus a little bit about your time at Pirates. Graham, Gordy, Bones, you guys played in that 2001 side that was very successful under Dickie Muir when he was around. We look fondly back at those photos that are up in the quarterdeck at the moment quite regularly. In fact, Wilkes and I spent a bit of time there watching over the weekend and having a look at those pictures. And then Wilkes obviously came up against you guys during that time and then joined you guys shortly afterwards. Bonesy, maybe just talk us through that 2001 season. A lot of talent. Jeez, there were some proper people there.
No, listen, I wasn't there. That was my stint in New Zealand that year.
Oh, you were?
I was at the Bay when they were winning club champs. Yeah. It's probably why they won it.
Imagine if he was there. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Gordy,
talk us through it. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, Brad, we were very fortunate. I think, I came back in from Durban in 97 and joined the Rats. And then, we actually got on a roll. Pirates started winning trophies and started and being more successful in the club scene. And, like in anything, success draws more quality players. And guys wanted to come down, and they saw that we had the balance right between, the off-field stuff and the on-field stuff. So, we had a very, very good side, and I still think, like a lot of the guys disgruntled guys that quality SA schools and et cetera, that were just playing course-based rugby around Johannesburg. you know, they'd end up coming down to Pirates and then just finding another breath of fresh air in their rugby careers, and they just come down and just want to have a go. So, you know, yeah, and I mean, 2001, we had an unbelievable side. I mean, look, I think Dickie got the balance right. You know, he brought in guys that had the same ethos in terms of being a Pirate and also wanting to win things. So, and he didn't ever lose that balance, to be quite honest. As I say, you know, it's all about enjoying your rugby, and I think you enjoy winning rugby games, and then you enjoy having a couple of beers afterwards and sharing those experiences with good mates. So yeah, I mean, in 2001 we went down there, and we just like bright lights, big city. We were in the big time, and in terms of the club scene. We ended up playing Marty's in Stellenbosch for the semi-final. I mean, I'll never forget the morning of the semi-final. We're at breakfast, and Dickie's sitting with myself and GK and a couple of other guys, and then the coach from Marty's at that stage just walked past and basically said, you know, it's going to be like a Porsche racing against a VW Beetle. And he didn't have to say much after that, because we looked at each other, and then Dickie just said, do you see what they're actually trying to tell us? So from there, that's all. We didn't really need any more motivation. We just really enjoyed. We had a tight-knit group. We had a good balance of youngsters and experiences. I mean, we had Lucas Swart, who had played numerous you know, Currie Cup games with Western Transvaal and with the Lions. So yeah, I think we got that balance right, and it just was a really good fit. And you know, the experience of Dick taking that side, and just knowing which buttons to press and when he could push guys, when he could, and he brought that, you know, that professional attitude to it. So without making it too serious, and still having the relaxation of guys just go out and enjoy and express yourself. And I think, it was a special time. I mean, we ended up beating Marty's in the semi-final, as I say, and then moved on and played Tygerberg in the final, which was, under wet conditions. I mean, that was the semi-final and the final, and it was like a mud pit down there. But yeah, we saw them off and brought home the trophy, which was awesome.
And those memories live on, and they still do today. And we talk about that all the time, and we've been building since then. 2009 wasn't a bad season either, but you know, certainly the way that the season started this year, I think the boys are looking to emulate those achievements. So for those of you who don't know, you know, 7 from 7, so we're in a good space. Yeah, goodie.
Yeah, I think Brad, and I'm sure Bones also will realize, you know, at that time you enjoy it, and you think that it'll happen again. But you know, Bones played one Currie Cup final, won it, cleaned them up, and then, you know, that was probably it. That was him. And then for me, you know, that club champs with Pirates 2001, you know, we haven't won it since. So you know, those are very special moments that you've got to just take on and enjoy. You really have to enjoy those moments.
Yeah, goodie. I think to that point, Bones, I'm going to come to you now about those special moments. So you obviously had the opportunity to play Currie Cup finals, mentioned, played overseas, etc., etc. But what are some of the special moments that you can take away from Pirates? You know, those good on-field playing moments that come to mind.
We're just fortunate. I mean, I'm not sure now, like I say, I haven't been back to the club for a while, which is quite sad because I live quite far away. But we had characters, I mean, from your Backhousters, Rodney Johnsons, JJ Horns, guys were just characters, but rocked up and they did a job. You know, like what he says, when it's time to practice, we practice, but when it's time to have a go, we should enjoy that as well. But I mean, like just having to micromanage Rodney Johnson on the field, and him and Howard almost getting into fights on the wing there. That's where you came in. Yeah, no, it's you know, and what I take away is the friendships as we're just sitting here, and it almost feels like yesterday that we're just still jolling.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end, it's that beer in the change room that you sit there. And it's just so rewarding sitting there and having a dop with some of your best mates.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it was, and that's what makes us different to those university sides. I mean, they'd rock up. I mean, you speak to those guys, they wouldn't know who they're playing next to that day. They just chop and change them as much. They wouldn't shower afterwards. They just put their slops on and go home.
Yeah.
For them, that was rugby. But us, it was a social, it was a culture. It was, the whole ethos of the club, which makes the club.
Yeah, Eric, I'm getting goosebumps as you
honest, we weren't the most talented 22 players running on, but we were playing for the right reason. And it was each other in the club and something bigger than us. And that's what those students don't understand. Is that, once you build into that whole process and everything like that, it bites you and you never look back.
Yeah, Bonesy, a club with 133 years of history, man, there's bound to be that ethos and that history that comes through it. Graham, coming across to you, man, some of the memories and the big moments that you've had at Pirates, and maybe echoing a little bit of what the gents have said already.
Yeah, I think the guys have summed it up perfectly. I've been very lucky to play with some very, very good players at the club. I was just thinking now, I remember in the prime at the club, we had 3 Transvaal number 8s. We had Lee Stewart, we had Greg Brewer and Nigel Pickford. I mean, anybody that knows anything about rugby in the 90s and early 2000s will just, it's unbelievable, the quality there. And I think the chances that you get, I was very lucky. My butt and I, my debut for the first was at Ellis Park with my butt, and those are special moments that they don't come around very often for people, and guys like Bones and so many and Brad and we've all played with so many good players there, but actually just so many good people, and even guys like I kind of chuckled, guys like Grant Esterhazen would come down from the Springboks, and because the guys enjoyed coming down. Gavin Johnson, watching all 4 Johnson brothers play together. Yeah. So it's just a special place, but I think it's more about the friendships. And, now living in the UK, it's one of the things that I really, really miss. Pirates is what I miss. There's a lot of things where you can replicate wherever you are in the world, but when you walk into Pirates, there's something special about it, and the people are special. And, there's this, it's kind of funny. It's kind of apt at the moment. But the 97 Lions, they're talking about, McGeechan talks about where these guys, when they won that series, it's like they can look across the room and just give each other a nod. And I don't want to sound dramatic or anything like that, but, now, and, if I walked into Bones or obviously my butt, but, Wilkes or JJ Horns or Gordon Frascas or Greggy Brewers, these guys, we would sit there and we could reminisce for a night. We could reminisce for a weekend, but just friendships but playing good rugby. We, as Bones said, we always have the best side. We had a lot of quality there in that club, and we were always fighting with the big dogs. Rouse and Pickers and all the guys. They knew if they were coming to our house, as we like to call it, they knew they were in for a game, eh? So, great memories. Loved it and miss it.
Yeah, Graham, listen, there's no doubt we miss you around the pub, but the good thing is I am getting home a little bit earlier on a weeknight now, which is good for things at home. Wilkes, mate, we'll come across to you. Listen, mate, you've more recently been first-team coach. Gordy's coach here as well. Graham's also been part of this coaching structures. Mate, just some recent memories from your side around the club and, just 1 or 2 quick stories.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, Brendan, when you're coaching, you're trying to, a lot of our players now are varsity cup players that come across. And the guys were 100% right. They come across, they had absolutely there was no vibe. Inter-varsities are gone, all those type of things are gone. All they've got now is varsity cup, and they're not allowed to have So it's we're trying to get them to understand that, and you talk to them, and it kind of like they kind of look at you, and then after a season, when they understand what you brought into this, and you brought this brotherhood. The 4 guys besides myself, the 4 guys on this call. We WhatsApp each other even now. We haven't seen each other for how many years, or we haven't played together for 20 years, and it's ridiculous how we we still mates. We still ask the family's birthdays. We still phone. You know, if there's sadness, whatever, we're there. And it's not because we forced to do it. It's just because we've shared a lot amongst ourselves. I mean, Graham unfortunately wasn't there. Probably a good thing he wasn't there. But I mean, we went to Argentina together, Bonesy, myself, and Gordy. And if Graham was there, I think we'd probably still be there. But you know, it was a trip where we absolutely became such good mates. And we're trying to explain this to these youngsters. And I've been coaching with good coaches. Gordy coached just before me. And these kids are talented nowadays, Brad. But the problem is that they don't love it, the game, as much as what we do, because they haven't experienced what we have at club level. And yeah, we've done a good job. I mean, we've got the club to where it is now, and Woody was part of that. All these boys are part of that. But the memories we've got is unbelievable.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
The thing is, we could probably sit on this conversation for hours and hours and hours and reminisce as we could, But you know, I think the one thing for me is, and I mentioned it earlier after I was chatting to Bones, is it's 133 years old, this club. You know, and it's probably one of the best places, you know, to work, network, make friends. And I think one of the biggest challenges for us as a club is to encourage lighties just to come through and be part of this whole thing, and just to make sure that we keep them playing. You know, we've certainly seen through this COVID side of things, we're fielding 219 sides and 221 sides at the moment, and that hasn't happened in years. It just simply shows that the boys want to play. You know, first, second, third, fourths, fifths at the moment. It just shows the numbers that are there, because I think what I'm trying to say is that rugby is such a sport of teammates and gears and Joel and all that kind of stuff. And you get that balance. You know, some mucks want to take it seriously. Those are your first team mucks and you're on the 21As and all that. Some mucks just want to come down and play because they love the game and have a beer with their mates afterwards. And those are your fourths and your fifths. And that's what I love about a club like Pirates. It offers us straight across, Budsy?
That's Wilkes.
Wilkes is going to eat you.
But you know what? Coming back to what Graham was saying earlier, Brad, is that you know, the depth that is so important, you know, for a club like Pirates. You know, the first team players were always pushed at Pirates by that second team side. That second team side where if you picked up an injury in that first side, you could have a guy that could slot straight in. Eh? I mean, like you say, I mean, you know, Bacchus had Van Wyk pushing him all the way. You know, like you had guys constantly just knocking on the door and keeping you honest. You know, as a first team player, which you know, it's crucial for the success of the club. And also, you know, like from management point of view, and also just, you know, captaincy and just leadership. You know, you've got to have the right guys in place, and it's crucial that as we say, you know, you carry on the ethos of Pirates and keep that honesty. You know, no, it's you guys have done a great job. I mean, it really is, and it looks like the club's in a very, very good space.
Yeah, goody, we are.
Just on the back of that, sorry, Brad, can I just jump in there? I think, and like I say, looking from afar, I think it's hats off to guys like yourself and Brad Wilk and lots of other people behind the scenes, where, you know, you look at a lot of these clubs like Roodepoorts and, you know, I'm thinking of Albertons and these clubs that have struggled through this time. And you look at how Pirates has just carried on thriving. I think that says a lot about the good job that you guys have done, and also the good job that everybody else has done, and the buy-in from old boys and the buy-in from parents and the players. I think it's, you know, I think it's a massive credit to everybody involved at that club. It's a superb job. You know, these are tough times. It's been tough times for a while, financially for a lot of people, and you guys are just keeping the ball rolling. So well done.
Oh, look, thanks, guys. But, you know, without contributions from the old boys like you guys on this call and others, you know, it's not always possible. But super proud of what's happening. You know, I really believe that we're probably one of the biggest clubs in the country. 450 boys that play from under 7s to under 18s, first, seconds, thirds, fourths, 19s and 21s, two sides there. A very strong women's team that's out and running at the moment. A Madala's team that plays and doing incredibly well. So our numbers are there, and I think we enjoy it. I've got a feeling we're going to have to do a little bit of a part 2 on this interview a little bit later in the season, because I think we can sit here for ages and ages and ages and chat about things. But I don't know. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it out there, and the first one to volunteer for one audience-friendly story, I'll leave it with you guys to choose who's going to tell the story with.
I'll give you a quick story.
Oh, there he is.
I'll
I
give you
knew
a
it
quick
would be.
story.
I knew it would be. Go, great.
So often my Bones were in a pub one night with Brad Wilkin, and I don't know what time it was, but we had a few downers, and Bones and I had retired 2-3 years before. Why don't you come down and play against? I think it was Inquina. I think he said you're going to play third team against Inquina, and as the evening went on, he was becoming more and more persuasive. Anyway, so we said, yeah, what we'll do is we said we'll come off the bench against Inquina. You know, we'll have a laugh. So Bones and I were, you know, so we come down on the Tuesday night to team selection, and everybody's eyes go, wow, what are these old boys doing here? You know, what are they arriving for? Anyway, they in the team, and it's against UJ or Rao, and Bones are starting. Anyway, so there's another debate about that, but anyway, so we get to the game. I think we're playing at Wits University, and Bones and I are playing, but geez, we're about 30 minutes in, and we are both blowing properly. And Bonesy says to me, Gray, I'm going to take a yellow. I said, no, you're not, but it wasn't quite as cordial, the language as now. He says, no, I'm going to take a yellow. I said, you better not. Next minute, ref pulls up, there's a punch up, and guess who's off in the sin bin with a zap sign at me, just having a laugh at me. There he is, Bones. He says, just a
That's a 20-minute rest with half time, eh?
a strategic yellow card. It's
20 minutes rest. Thank you.
Those things, they're great. But there's so many of those stories, and I think the part 2 should be over a few beers.
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have a part 2 to this one, guys. Thank you very much for joining us on the Sin Bin tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. I have no doubt that we'll have a couple more. To all of our viewers tonight,